Let me talk a little bit about the situation that happened in the summer of 2006 in Beirut, what subsequently led to an evacuation. At that time, Lebanon was on the comeback. It was a popular place to go visit. People were going to Lebanon on a regular basis. A lot of business was taking place. Banking was doing well. People were going there for vacations. They had the two soldiers disappear, the Israeli soldiers. The Israelis decided they needed to retaliate immediately, and the first thing they did was basically seal off Lebanon. They bombed the airport. They cut off access to Syria. They cut off naval access to any of the ports and basically put Lebanon in a bottle. People were not ready for that to happen that quickly. It was an immediate response. Many of the corporate crisis plans that were in place weren't quite prepared for that type of situation. And some organizations may not have had the corporate crisis plan they really needed to have. It wasn't updated. Some did. Some had an excellent plan and responded accordingly. One of the things that ASI had to do, we were called upon to go evacuate some people and get them to safety. And again, that situation spun up so quickly that the more in-depth the crisis plan was for the organization that we dealt with, the easier it was to work with that crisis plan. Obviously, you're never going to come up with everything when you build a crisis plan. But the more information you can come up with and the more scenarios you can try to think of as you're building that plan, when heads are cooler, when it's not a crisis, when you can be reasonable as to what you're thinking of, the easier it is to work through that plan when there is a crisis. And it's very important. There's an expression in scuba diving that you plan your dive and you dive your plan. When you write a crisis plan beforehand, when you've got time to sit and be reasonable and think of alternatives, then the crisis comes. And there's going to be people on the sidelines who are saying, we need to do this and we need to do that and we need to do this. No, we need to follow the plan that we've written. We know it's a good plan. It's a solid plan. We've accounted for as many contingencies as we can think of. Most likely something's going to come up that no one thought of, but follow the plan. It makes sense to follow it. It was written when heads were cooler, and using that to make adjustments as you need to make adjustments, chances are your people are going to be much safer, and you'll have a much more successful crisis response, and then the following business continuity response when it's time to come back.